Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and apologies for last week. I just couldn't get back in time. A bit of a nightmare, but hey ho, never mind. I am joined today by my two esteemed colleagues, Jean Lever, of course, and my buddy Peter Rogers. Now, what we're going to do today is just kind of have a chat because, as you guys know, it's VE Day, Victory in Europe Day, and uh, some of us have got Radio 2 on. So Radio 2 today was doing various interviews with people that had either been at VE Day or had letters from people that had actually been in the war, which was really heartwarming. But interestingly enough, there was a lady on that was 98 years old, and she was one of the original, what they call Bletchley girls. Now, the Bletchley girls were the ladies that actually decoded. They called it an Enigma machine, was one, and the other one was a bomb machine, BOMBE machine. Now, the Enigma machine had one option. So, in other words, it decoded it into one option message, where the bomb machine decoded it into 36 different possibilities. And she was working on this at 98 years old, amazing lady, fantastic to listen to. But I digress, as I said. VE Day, congratulations. We heard, obviously, our esteemed CEO the other day discuss various different things, and it was quite interesting to hear about the various suggestions, shall we say, or what's likely to happen. So I'm going to pass it across to Jean because she'd like to start today with that look of the rabbit in the headlamps. I shall pass it across to Jean. There you go.
Well, I just want to talk about the VE Day thing. Is that how awesome as we're talking about victory over, let's just say, kind of like what our company is doing. You have, darkness in the world, or corruption, or things that are suppressing people, or any number of reasons for war, right? And then you have forces for good coming together to overcome it. And I feel like that's what we're doing with this company. No matter what what it's called, what kind of products we have at the helm someone who cares about the freedom of people and wants to do good. So in honor of VE Day, I just want to say that. And in the US, of course, it's Victory Day. So same thing, same reason, maybe with different details. So I just wanted to honor everyone who's ever served. It is, I know that's really important to Red as well. He can't be here, but I know it's really important to him as well to honor everyone that served in that war. So anyway, Peter, did you want to speak to that as well?
Yeah, I can obviously just add to that. Obviously over here in the UK, VE Day is it's an important day to obviously a lot of the veterans who were, obviously in the army or in the military. But what we have around where I actually live now, we have what they call the burning of the straw man. And they have the straw man, which is basically built out of straw. I think this one's probably about 50 foot tall. And they actually set fire to him around about 9:30 to celebrate the VE Day. But they have the straw man situated around different parts of the country. So when we light it here, say 10 miles away, they can see it, then they light theirs, and then they
acts like a beacon, doesn't it?
A beacon, yeah. And and that's happening tonight at 9:30. So as soon as I've done here, I'm going to pop there and watch it. But it's nice to see, and it's nice to obviously remember, the sacrifices what people did for us to give us the freedom we got today. And it's nice to see it in the schools as well. I picked my boy up this morning, and they were flying the Union Jack, and it was great to see. Yeah, they obviously this country, we've got a bit of a situation where they don't like us flying our own flags. And anyway, obviously that's changing now. And we've, you know, they were flying the Union Jack this morning, and the kids went to school as well wearing red, black, and white, which is sorry, red, blue, and white, I should say. And you know, that was nice to see all the kids in different, to celebrate the Union Jack and to celebrate VE Day. So yeah, it's a good thing, and it's a remembrance thing, and you know, it's a good thing.
Well, I just wanted to, can I pop in, Andy, real quick? I love the idea of this, of lighting the straw man and then having it being seen by the next community down or the next thing. That like harkens back to the old days where that's how people communicated before the internet and all of that, is that they let their neighbors, they let their friends and family in other cities, they let them know things by communicating in that way. And so now the tech is a lot higher, right? And we're part of that with this company. But I love that because it shows that people still have that sense of community. And especially if they have the kids remembering it in school, is that if we forget the things that happened in our past, we're doomed to repeat it, right? We need to keep those learnings and make sure it's accurate learning. So we have to always be vigilant about what, and Andy, I know you can relate to this. We have to be really vigilant about making sure that the history that's kept by like the folks, that 98-year-old, her memory of things might be different than what they're maybe teaching in schools now. So we need to keep that alive. We need to keep that going, whether it's vocally with our families or through writing books or sharing. And I really love that. I think that's really, really cool that they still do that. And may they keep doing it. I love it.
Yeah, may they keep doing it instead of changing history for us. But anyway, as I said, VE Day for us is a celebration. We won't go into the ins and outs of it, and thank you. But what I wanted to really chat about today was what Ash has been discussing over the course of the last webinars that he's done with us. And it's interesting that people have taken it in different ways. Now, personally, I've taken it, as Red has, with a total and utter positive. Now, why do I say that? What does that mean, or what what was the message that he got across to me? Okay, the fact that we're going to, or they're going to start releasing information after they've got to a certain stage. So not stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, 4 or 5. They're going to do it after the fact. Now, what does that actually mean, and why has he done it like that? Well, we've made mistakes in the past because we've told people what we were doing. And it's been misconstrued and twisted and everything else. So now we've done that bit, and we're up at this bit. So we'll tell you about this now. That's a massive, massive positive. So all these people that go, well, there's nothing going on. Wrong. Totally and utterly wrong. The fact is that they are beavering away in the background, and they're already probably at stage 6 or 7. But they're not going to tell us just yet, because we don't want it to be misconstrued. We don't want it to be twisted. We want it to come out. This is as it is. Now, that's massive. For me, that's massive. Now, and Red brought up a couple of points the other day in the meeting as well. And Peter, I know you wanted to or discuss this a little bit more, so I'm going to pass it over to you to carry on with that theme.
Well, obviously, you know, we're obviously we're not going to be doing. Onpassive is still there. We've obviously explained this over the last week or so. Onpassive is still there, but we're not part of Onpassive anymore. We're moving on to the next chapter. We're moving on to the next phase. Okay, and we have obviously got to we're obviously waiting for Ash and what he's obviously going to be sharing with us. And like he said on the webinars, you know, there's a phase 1. I mean, we've talked about phase 1, but we haven't got a clue what phase 1 is. You know, it's ready. You know, it's obviously ready. It's there, and he's probably on phase 6 or whatever. you know, so he's obviously putting it all together, and obviously as we progress, um, as we progress over the next few weeks and months, obviously we'll go through these extra steps until we get to where we need to be. Um, Obviously, the situation is obviously he's trying to sort out what's been going on in the background. We all know about the SEC, and that's obviously got to be cleared up. He's already explained that, and he doesn't want to say no more about that. Okay, but from my point of view, I think we're going to be, as soon as that's been sorted, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be pretty soon to be there, then we'll start to move on to this phase one. And I think phase one is going to be, you know, well, I don't know what it's going to be. I can't, you know, we can all use our imaginations, and I think it's going to be, you know, I'll pass it back, and then I can bounce a bit back.
Yeah, I mean, it's as he said, the you know, people are concerned. Oh, it's not called OConnect, or it's OConnect's not going to be the same. Well, the beauty of it is, and Red explained this very well in the webinar. Ash has made it clear that the video conferencing platform, whatever it's now called, if it's not called OConnect, is going to be 300 times better than it was before, because there's so many other bits and pieces that are probably added in. Bearing in mind, and a lot of people have missed this point, we found out before all the problems happened that Ash had two teams working on the same products, but totally separate. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember, and you know, like I can remember going back. Ash said at the time about OConnect that he was happy with it, but it was not what he wanted. And I think now, obviously, as time's now progressed, he's got this team. They've been working on this. The new, well, it's not going to be OConnect. We don't know what it's going to be called. But obviously, this new product, and he says it's 300 times better. And to me, OConnect at the time was fantastic. We all used it, didn't we? And we had it for what, 12 months free, basically. And it was a brilliant tool. So, but if he's bringing out this new one, and it's 300 times better, well, thumbs up. That's all I can say. You know, that's the right direction we need to go. You have to better yourselves all the time. You know, you can't just stand still and just say, well, that's it, we've got a product. And it's just, you know, as we know with the competitors with OConnect, Mr. Zoom. I mean, if you realize at the time, Zoom was just a platform, and they had lots of different mistakes that was happening as we were on there as well. You know, you couldn't even get 10,000 people on their platform, and then it would crash. But we were getting 20, 30, 40,000 on OConnect, and we were still working. But then OConnect, you know, Zoom then started to borrow some of their, you know, copy some of their products. And going back to what you were saying about, you know, Ash keeping things tight to his chest. This is the reason why he's keeping everything tight to his chest, because he doesn't want people copying what we've been doing and what's coming forward. You know, he's gonna share it to the world, and it's going to be out there. And you know, they can copy it then, but it's too late. We've got it. We've done it. We're in place. You know, so that's just one product. You know, so there's obviously other products that's available. We don't know what other products are there, but there's definitely going to be a similar, I suppose, some similar that we had before, but just a lot better. If he's saying OConnect is 300 times better, well, I would imagine all the other products he's been putting together are a lot better than what he had before as well. So, you know,
he made a very good point the other day about the AI technology, and it's different for different products, different systems, different. Yeah. And what's interesting was that you know, he was saying about the fact that everything moves forward. Now we know that Onpassive was way ahead of the curve with the AI that was being used for what we wanted it to be. So we're still ahead of the curve. So if you like, we're at level 6, or you know, 0.6, and he's not going to let us know just yet. But the fact of the matter is that when he first talked about AI, he said we'll be 3 years ahead of the curve, but we'll always be that 3 years ahead of the curve because we're there already, and it's like they're going to just follow that curve. Now, this is AI for digital products. It's not the AI that he talked about for SpaceX or, for other things. So that's interesting. But I'm sure you've got some additional bits that you wanted to add in there, Gene, as well.
Well, on that particular topic, I just wanted to say, look at the man. Look at his track record. He is someone who's passionate about technology. Passionate about artificial intelligence, passionate about so many of these technological topics. So he lives and breathes this. So is he going to fall behind the times? No, that man is so far ahead. He's quantum leaps ahead. And so we can rest easy knowing that he is on top of this. And I think it's fabulous news. Like you said, Andy, very positive. What he's been sharing in the meetings is that it's almost like it's the way it always should have been, right? Holding things close to the vest. And haven't we learned that if we're inventors or creatives, we blab out our joy and enthusiasm and it gets crushed out in the real world. I've learned that myself. It's a horrible feeling. So now he's keeping it here. And when he releases it, it's going to just be a bombshell. So anyway, on that, that's what I want to share.
Yeah, absolutely. What is interesting, and what again, a lot of people haven't taken this into consideration. You've got to think about this very carefully. We've had all these issues, and technically, Onpassive kind of opened and closed again almost immediately because all the money got tied up. But he has been recruiting the best of the best. Now, ask yourself this question. Why, if these people have paid any attention to the media or what's gone on Facebook or YouTube about Mr. Ashmufara, why would they go and join this man and work with a company doing this? Yeah, you go, hold on a second. There is something exceedingly special about this. Otherwise, these top professionals would just simply not go and just, not for me. Yeah, so this is, people aren't grasping this, and I don't understand why. Think outside the box for a minute here, But I love the fact that he's going to start doing the marketing. And what he was explaining the other day, which really caught my ear, was the fact that things have moved forward since we first started talking about the marketing. But he's kept abreast of this and knows exactly what the system needs to be or be put in place. And he was saying, people that still use newspapers to advertise, probably not the best way to go with what's going on. Anyway, anything more you'd like to add, Pete?
Well, marketing, again, I mean, I've been with Red. We sort of got online probably 12, 15 years ago that we decided to mess around with Bitcoin, and we got involved with obviously learning how to market. And it's not an easy, we're not, me and Red are not really big marketers. I mean, Red, is pretty successful because he's a good speaker and he does his videos. So yeah, he's pretty good on that. But as it comes to marketing in those days, you used to do, it was email marketing. You were doing posts and things like this, and creating funnels and things, and which worked in those days, not 100%, but they worked. And it's completely different. It's completely, as time's progressed, we've moved on, and with AI, and you look at Onpassive, what happened in Dubai and all that, and all the marketing, and it was absolutely phenomenal what was going on there. But like Ash was saying, with the old business, he didn't really introduce his marketing friends then as such. you know, he kept them back. He didn't want them involved, and he felt at the time that it wasn't the right time to let them in, because he probably, you know, he said he wasn't happy with the way things were then with the marketing, with products. And he felt it needed to be better. And like he said the other day on the webinar, that he has got, you know, very successful friends, marketing friends, who he's going to share the next stage, the next business with them. So he's obviously a lot more confident to share what he's got. He's going to share it to these marketeers. And, you know, these people who know how to market, and obviously we got AI now, it's obviously involved in all this, so it's made it even better. And that was another thing, like Ash was saying, you know, he's got something that's slightly different that's going to really rock the world to do with this AI marketing side of it. And, you know, but all that, obviously these people that he's going to bring in, I mean, they've got their own way of marketing as well. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to make a big difference to what's going to be happening with the next phase. You know, this has been a journey to learning. You know, some of us have been here 7 years, and you know, this journey it's a progression, but we will reach the goal in the end, and I'm sure that's pretty near what Ash is, you know, he's trying to aim for, and obviously bringing these other people in. To me, that's just phenomenal, and that's great news for us. And so yeah, I think the marketing that Ash has got in mind, he's a marketeer anyway. He knows, you know, I wish I had 1/10 of the marketing that he's got in his head, because, you know, he's just a phenomenal guy with marketing. So anyway, back to you.
It's one of those things. You know, keep the faith. At the end of the day, something attracted you to this in the first place. For me, it was listening to Ash and listening to what the man had to say. It was his vision that I heard through all of the white noise, and his heart for humanity. And that to me made a huge difference. Now, a lot of people have missed that, and they've kind of fallen by the wayside because, oh, this is never going to happen. Rubbish. This man has not given up in any way, shape or form. And I admire him 100% for that. That is phenomenal, because I'll be honest, I would have given up. And 99.9% of people I know would have given up, because it's just not, oh, it's too difficult. Do you know what? Thanks very much. I tried.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy has turned around and said, do you know what? No, I'm not. This is meant to be. I need this because I want it to help others. I'm not interested in the money. And that differs from every other CEO and president and vice president I've ever met, because most of them are only interested in this, nothing else. Certainly not their employees. I mean, you know, we all know a very huge company with a multi-billionaire CEO who sends parcels around the globe. I know that the guys that work in the parcel office get minimum wage. Minimum wage. That is horrible. Why? Is it necessary? Does he need all of that money? No, he doesn't. Now, this chap is changed that, and he will change the system because of the way he is. More and more people are going to start to think like this, and that changes the world. And that, for me, is so exciting, I can't tell you. Yeah. Any final comments from you, Jean?
Well, you just said it. We're here because we want to be part of changing the world with this man's vision. And it's an honor. It's an honor to be walking alongside someone that has the wherewithal, that sat with his family and said, it's going to be a rocky road. Are you in with me? And they said yes. And that just makes me want to cry sometimes, that they have been put through it and they've stayed the course, and we're walking with him, and we're all locked arms. And it's important. It's important that we do this way beyond our individual situations. So I'm just so excited to be here. And I love the strategy that Ash is using. moving this forward. I think it's so crazy exciting, and I'm so happy to be here with you two gentlemen on this very auspicious day. And thanks for having me again, Andy.
Thanks, Gene. I haven't been called a gentleman in a long time. Any final comments, Pete?
No, just look, like with Ash, he's like a dog with a bone. He's got this vision, and he's not going to let this vision disappear. He's working with it. You know, I admire him. I admire his family, obviously backing him and what it's a big stress on his family. It's got to be, and then they've stood by him like we have. You know, we're obviously standing by him. I'm just hanging on to his shirt tails. He's going to drag us along, and I think it's a fantastic opportunity for all of us, and we're so lucky to be in with where we are with him, and I just can't wait to move on and get going. That's my
likewise, absolutely. Thank you everyone for joining us. Again, I do apologize for not being around on Tuesday, and last week was a nightmare for me. I have to say, you do what you've got to do until this happens, and that's exactly what we're all doing. So bear with us, please. I will try and get to you Tuesday. I fear a long day coming on. But if not, I will try and make it during the week. So again, please join us. We'd love to have you with us. And again, like, share, and don't forget Heroes on Sunday. Okay, Heroes on Sunday. We get to discuss lots of things at Heroes. It's well worth coming along. So thank you for joining us. Thank you to my esteemed colleagues, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.